Hey loves, it's Dr. Simone Ellis and welcome to Beyond the Chair podcast. So I have traveled across many ponds to get to Singapore and I have had the opportunity to interview Dr. Leroy. Thank you so much for coming on to the show today. I appreciate you. I found his viral content on social media and I think that you are phenomenal. So thank you for letting me in your space, in your home. I really appreciate it. And I think this conversation is going to be good. So
I hope, yeah. I think it'll be fun, yeah.
It'll definitely be fun. So tell me a little bit about yourself for the viewers who are not familiar with Dr. Leroy. Tell us a little bit about where you went to school and how did you even get into dentistry as a whole?
Yeah, so, my name is Leroy. Yeah, I'm a dentist.
Really? No.
Yeah, so I went to dental school at the National University of Singapore, which is our country's only dental school.
Only dental school here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and my brother is a dentist. Yeah, I like to say that I wasn't completely influenced by him to be a dentist.
Is he the older or the younger?
He's older.
You're totally influenced by your older brother. So he was a dentist and you decided to go in because of why?
Well, to be honest, I always kind of wanted to be a doctor, like a medical doctor, up to I think right before I was about to apply for uni. Then I went for some job shadowing programs.
Okay.
And I shadowed a doctor and I shadowed a dentist and I'm like, wait a minute, I think this is a little bit more like what I would like to, what I would enjoy basically. Yeah, so I think that influenced me quite a bit. And by the time I applied for uni, I didn't even put medicine on my shortlist at all. I was pretty certain that I wanted to be a dentist. Yeah.
Now, is it like this in Singapore? When we are in the States, if you are not going to medical school, you're going to dental school, people are like, oh, wait a minute, that's because you couldn't be a doctor. Is that like that over here in Singapore?
I think people have that, people that are outside the industry probably think that, because that was the case maybe 20 years back, if you couldn't get into medical school, then dental school was like the backup plan, right?
Right.
Yeah, but now I would say it's actually harder to get into dental school.
Completely.
Yeah.
I did not want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a dentist, and I'm like,
nice.
When people are like, "Oh, you didn't get into my school." I'm like, "Wait a minute, no. That was never even
it's harder to get into dental school.
Yeah, and it's harder in dental school, right? Like,
it
is. School is so much stressful. Yeah. So tell me, is in Singapore, do you go to 4 years of university and then go to dental school? How does that work?
So in Singapore, we can do dentistry as an undergraduate program. So right out of our equivalent of high school, we can actually go into dental school. So as a result of that, we pretty much graduate quite young. So when I became a dentist, I was 25.
25?
Yeah.
You were completely done?
I was done, yeah.
Wow. So do you have to go to university, do you have to go to 4 years of college and then dental school? Because that's how we do it in the States. Or how is the education system in Singapore?
So in Singapore, we can do dentistry as an undergraduate program.
Okay.
So pretty much out of high school or our equivalent of that, we can apply and we can go to dental school.
And how long's the program?
4 years.
Wow. So you're like really a young doctor when you come out of school.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how do you feel like, especially if you don't know that you want to be a dentist, is that kind of nerve-wracking? Like, because you go into dental school and I guess you can kind of pivot out, but do you see a lot of people changing careers because you go straight in from high school, or do you feel like you kind of just stick with it because you're already in that program?
Yeah, so it is quite a big decision to make, fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
At 18, you have to make this decision that's gonna determine your entire, your life, the journey that you're gonna take. So the thing is, I think because it's so challenging to get in, most people, once they're in the program, they pretty much, I'm really lucky to be here. I'm just going to make the most out of it, even if I realize halfway that, maybe I made a mistake. It's a little bit
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way, and especially, is it expensive to go to dental school in Singapore in comparison to other universities or med school? Is it expensive to go to dental school?
I would say that in Singapore, it's actually a little bit unique because in order to go to dental school, you have to take a government scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to, even if you're a foreign student, coming into Singapore to study, you have to take a bond with the government. So that means that after you graduate, you have to work in the government sector, in the public sector for 4 years before you can go out and be a private practitioner.
And do they pay it back after you've done that 4 years, or is it completely you are still owing debt and then you can finish?
Well, when we are working in the government sector, we receive a salary.
Okay.
So basically the school fees after we have that scholarship are actually quite manageable for for the majority of people actually. So we hear all the stories about in the US you end up with a crazy amount of debt. And
yes.
Yeah. So not too much.
Not like that.
Yeah.
So what, like in the States, like especially in New York, they end up coming out with $400,000 to $500,000 a day. Isn't that crazy? Because you think about it, it's like you're already starting off with $500,000 in debt. What is it like in Singapore? Like, what's the average that you guys are coming out of school with, like owing dental school? Like, how much do you end up owing to the state or the government?
I would say that dental school on average, correct me if I'm wrong, any of my Singapore viewers, I think we pay around about 20,000 Singapore dollars a year actually. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, everybody moved to Singapore. Like, we are doing it wrong. Isn't that crazy, the difference? Yeah. Well, did you serve in the military as well?
I did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in Singapore, if you are a Singapore citizen and you are a male, you have to serve 2 years of national service.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do that after high school. So I already completed my national service before I started dental school.
Okay. Yeah. And that's for all men have to do that?
Yeah.
Wow. Can women do that also?
They can, yeah. So they can sign up, to be what we call a regular. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you do that, then basically sometimes you can actually be eligible for this scholarship. It's called the SAF Dental Scholarship.
Okay.
So basically the armed forces sponsor your education, but after you graduate, then you would be wanted to them for a certain amount of time.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. I did not know that. I had heard something very similar to that, like in Australia, like they recommend, like they really want you to serve the country before you actually go into the workforce. But in the States, it's not like that. So again, you can choose to go into the military or the 3 branches, of course, Air Force, military, or like the Marines or the Navy, excuse me. And then if you choose to sell it, they'll pay back your loans.
Right.
So I guess it's kind of similar there. So you went into dentistry. Your brother is a dentist. Is there competition in the family? Like, are you guys like, who's the better dentist? Like,
no. I think we have a very good mutual respect of each other, and there's no like trying to outdo each other. So I think that's healthy.
Yeah, I love that.
Which helps because my sister-in-law is a dentist as well. And my wife's a dentist.
No,
so
my gosh, everybody's teeth is perfect in the household. I love that.
Yeah, so my dad has like dental implants like done by each of us. Like, yeah.
Each child has done a quadrant, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, we're going to get into the subject about how you went viral and basically how to create viral content as a dentist, because you've done a really good job of that from a social media standpoint. But before we get into all that, of course, you guys know the segment that I like is, what you drinking? So you had a busy day at work, you're stressed out. How do you decompress? What do you do outside of the dental chair to make yourself comfortable? Are you a workout fanatic? Are you hanging out with family? Hanging out with your wife? Are y'all talking dental talk? Like, what are you doing to decompress?
Okay, so I mean, a little bit of all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got the workout part, right? So yeah, I'm pretty big on just trying to keep fit and do like calisthenics and lifting weights and stuff. Yeah, and in fact, I was already kind of out on social media like before I became a dentist. So it actually kind of worked out well because some of my following that knew me from before I was a dentist, they are now my patients. So,
yeah. You're like, I'm going to use you guys. Come on over to this office.
Well, I wouldn't say use them. It's just like, I welcome them, know, to, I'm your dentist. So,
yes. What were you doing on social before then? Like, what was your content about before you became dental related?
Yeah, fitness stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a really long like fitness journey as well because I used to be really like skinny, like couldn't gain weight at all. And then sometime around the time that I was in national service, I really just like gave my all and just really committed. And so yeah, I had this whole thing that started out as just like more of a way to keep accountable to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I realized along the way, hey, like people are actually following me on my journey, and then I just made it a thing. Then that kind of became part of my identity.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is it tough as far as like keeping up that momentum and you having long days at work here? Because for me, I have to work out in the morning. I'm a 4:30 in the morning type of girl. I get up. My assistant who's here today, I love her, right? But she will be sending me messages and I'm like, Jean, I have not finished the workout yet. By the time I finish, I'll get to you. Like, so like I know I'm an early riser. Are you an early riser or you do workouts after work?
I do after work.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I'm so tired after the day. Like a back-breaking dentistry. How do you like get into that?
I don't know. I think I have a separate energy reserve when it comes to working out because I honestly like look forward to doing that as a way to. It's kind of my escape.
Yeah.
Like I need it to decompress.
Yeah.
So I think like no matter how tired I am from work, unless it's really ridiculous or something, back to back the whole day. Most of the time when I'm in the gym and I'm in that mindset, then
you're focused.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. For me, I look at working out is that I have to pour like from a full cup. And running an office, you have your assistants, you have the team in the front, you have your patients. So a lot of times what I'm trying to do is go to work really fully equipped, right? And what I mean by that is that if I don't have anything in my cup, I can't give it to the patients, I can't give it to my team, I'm just exhausted. So I use the morning to like hype myself up. I'm like running sprints, I'm like really giving myself energy because at the end of the day, I am done. Like I don't have anything else to give to anybody.
So working out fills your cup.
Oh yeah, working out fills my cup. It seems like working out restores your cup. You're like, I can be restored. I can have a lot to give when I go home. Yeah, that's for me. So, all right. So you became a cosmetic dentist. Tell me about that journey. How did you start discovering that you liked aesthetic dentistry?
Okay, so I think for me, I didn't know like all the way from the beginning that I wanted to do cosmetic dentistry or aesthetic dentistry. But sometime around my final year in dental school, I was very lucky because I got to do a veneer case, which is very, very rare.
Yeah.
It's almost unheard of. Yeah, but my clinical supervisor was quite a chill dude, and I had a like basically perfect patient that was really willing to proceed, and it was just like the perfect storm. Yeah, so I managed to do that, and I think I was really quite surprised that the difference that having a confident smile could make on a person's life. It's like I think we are really in a position where it's really such a privilege to be able to change someone's confidence and their outlook on everything. Yeah, so that really kind of steered me in this particular direction. And after I graduated, I just found that okay, this is probably this is the thing for me. I seem to be good at it. So I'm going to attend all the CE
everything.
Aesthetic dentistry, learn how to do great veneers, learn how to do great composites. And yeah, I think I made the right decision because I'm really liking what I'm doing, and the direction that I've chosen.
So how did you get into this office here? Because you're at Orchard Dental, right? How did you find this practice?
Well, the bosses of Orchard Scotts Dental, they are quite well known in the local dental society. Yeah. So in fact, both of them, Dr. Ronnie and Dr. Jerry, they were my clinical supervisors back in dental school.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So we have exposure to different private practitioners, and all the dental students know that hey, these two guys, they run a aesthetic dental practice. So there's a little bit of curiosity being piqued at that point. And after I graduated and after I was thinking about where would I like to further my practice long term, like who is going to be a good mentor to me as I grow, and naturally the two of them were kind of at the top of the list. So yeah.
And I think that, like you said, I wonder why we don't get a chance to do cosmetic dentistry in dental school, because that is very rare. I never touched a veneer in dental school, and so I had to really figure that stuff outside of the dental practice and taking all the CEs especially as well. So I graduated like 14 years ago, so I'm 40 now. You're how old? 25? Did you say that?
I graduated at 25. I'm 32 this year.
Oh, you're 32. Okay, I was like, oh my god, you still look really good. I hope I still look like I'm 25.
You look great.
Thank you. I'll take that. But cosmetic dentistry was not something that was really popular back then, and especially now with social media, it's really taken off. And so, how do you bridge the worlds together? Because now you're realizing you got a following on social media, you're a health fitness, and now you're getting into dentistry and talking about cosmetics, and somehow you figured out how to bridge the gap. How do you make your content go viral like that?
I think there's no choice, you had to do it. Yeah. Well, I think something that really kind of motivated me was the fact that actually in Singapore we have this regulations, right, the ethical code that say that we can't post before and afters of our work on social media.
Right.
Right. So if you do a nice veneer case, you take photos of it and everything, but you can't actually show that on social media.
Is that still the case now?
It's still the case. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's quite strict actually. Yeah. So there have been other dentists that have gotten in trouble because of stuff like that. So because of that, then we've had to be a little bit more creative about what kind of content we can show, because at the end of the day, we still need to put ourselves out there to let people know that hey, there's someone here that is passionate about cosmetic dentistry. Yeah, and we've just had to navigate that in a way that doesn't kind of get us in trouble. So naturally, I think we found kind of a formula that it's not really too. We try not to alienate anyone. It's like basically we just want to create content that people will realize, hey, there's a dentist that they're okay with having a little bit of fun. They seem like a nice person, and they are really passionate about what they do. And I think naturally from that, then the engagement comes, and patients come in through the door from there, and it's a nice cycle that repeats itself, I guess.
Yeah, and how do you feel like it's impacted dentistry, social media now in the world of cosmetics and viral content? Like, how do you feel like dentistry has been impacted by social media?
I think people in general are a lot more aware of the different kinds of procedures that are out there, and they are more exposed to, people with, like a perfect smile, and they maybe not so unaware of what exactly veneers are. So sometimes we do get patients that they already know what they want, and they're just looking for someone that is good and they feel comfortable with. Yeah, so compare that to maybe years ago when there was not so much information out there, and then the first time people hear of veneers is maybe when they are already in the dental office, and then it's quite different now, I think.
Yeah, and I think that also when we think about social media and the impact of like people taking selfies and their pictures, and they're always seeing their face, right? And so now they want to have a more aesthetic smile. Now they want to be more attractive because they got to look at this face all the time, and now the world has to see it. So I think that that's what's also really shifted social media, especially with people and their confidence. And then the comparison. Unfortunately, social media does do a job about making us compare and feel like, okay, hey, do I look as good as the girl down the street? And if I don't, like, how do I get my smile or my aesthetic to match that? Do you guys experience a lot of that in Singapore as well?
Well, with regard to dentistry?
Yeah, and dentistry. Comparison aspect of it.
Sometimes people do come in and then they show us pictures of a smile that they want, like they would like to achieve, and like sometimes it is possible, and then sometimes it's not.
It's just not, right?
Yeah.
It's very unrealistic sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but it is useful because you can get kind of like an idea of like where that person's priorities are, what kind of aesthetic they are after, and whether that's something that's in line with what you can provide and your treatment philosophy. Because overall, I think we are still quite myself. I still do believe in minimally invasive stuff. So like now that patients have seen like on TikTok like videos of people getting their teeth trimmed down to little pegs.
Like, hey, do you experience having to fix any of that work when like you see that? Because we have to fix a lot of that when we see in the States. Like they're going over to other countries and we're like, what are you doing? And like, I won't touch it because I'm like, I have no idea what type of bomb is about to go off in this mouth. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, that's kind of scary. Are you guys having to fix a lot of dental work, like, because of what they've seen on social media?
Yeah, so we do get our fair share of cases that, patients have done something somewhere else and it just, it hasn't worked out and they come in to see us.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that many of the teeth that have been trimmed down so much, thankfully, because, as you mentioned, so sometimes you can't really do very much, or you're not sure what's under there.
You don't want to touch. You're like, I don't want to touch this.
Yeah. But we do see cases where they've done like, I believe in the States you call them like basement dentistry.
Yes, we call it like basement dentistry. I'm like, you know what? You can put a car in the basement, but please, sucking your teeth down there. Like, who is doing that? Yes, we have a lot of. It's crazy right now. We have people who are not like certified in anything, like just doing composites, and you're just like, what's going on?
That's the thing here as well. Yeah. So we call them beautician veneers.
Beautician veneers, nice.
Yeah. So they're done by beauticians. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And is there a law against it? Like, that's not supposed to be happening,
it's
right?
It's not supposed to be happening, but for some reason, like no one's really doing very much about it, and like it's quite common. Like you will see like some fairly well-known influencers with beautician veneers, and you're like
mortified as soon as you see them, right?
Yeah.
When I see it's bad in the States because right now it's like we have this doctor that is you want to pause? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So right now it's really bad in the States, like where we're seeing doctors I'm like, are you even thinking about occlusion? Like there's no, like people's mouths are just like wide open with these white veneers, and I'm like, this just looks, it's just bad, friend. It's just really bad. So that's definitely something that we're looking at. And I always find it funny that the rules don't apply to the beautician veneers, right?
Yeah.
But you can't put before and after pictures.
They don't have a license to lose.
Like, it's wild to me. Like, so Well, anyways, we could spend all day on that topic, but I'll keep moving forward. So, what motivated you to start creating content as a dentist? I know you were already doing it from a health perspective, but you could have kept going with health. Why did you start creating content as a dentist? And then what's that perfect formula that you feel like is making your stuff go viral?
Okay, so how did I get started creating content as a dentist? I think originally I was thinking of, okay, I have a following of fitness related followers that follow me for fitness things, and I was thinking of like basically trying to transition and convert some of them and letting them know that, hey, yeah, I'm a dentist now, I've graduated,
yeah,
I'm practicing,
come see me.
Yeah. So initially I wasn't really sure how to go about what was the best way to do it. Yeah, but eventually I think we realized that creating funny stuff always works. Like always gets great engagement. People comment, people share with their friends, and I think it helps because a lot of people seem to be looking for someone that they feel comfortable going to. Of course, there's a fair share of patients that will not react positively to such content because maybe they just have the idea in their head that you seem like really much too lighthearted and funny to be a dentist. I'm just gonna yeah, but. It's okay because we don't have to treat everyone, so we all have an idea of an, I also call ideal patient.
Yeah.
And to me, my ideal patient is someone that, I'm okay with being friends with, is always willing to have a chat and, someone that's gonna laugh at my stupid jokes and everything. Yeah, so patients that have found me from social media all tend to be pretty similar. They all tend to be quite nice and easygoing, and that's, we all do wish all our patients could be nice and easygoing, and then we wouldn't have to stress so much. So that really motivated me to create more funny content, and then it kind of just took off from there.
Yeah, I wish I would have been bold enough to do that. I know that when I first started out, even now, sometimes I get very nervous about like being myself authentically, and I don't know if that just comes from the background of when I came out of dental school, where it really, social media did not exist, right? And then also to being a minority as a woman, I was just like, I don't know if I'm too silly, or if I'm too funny, or if I'm too anything else other than extremely rigid, I won't be seen as a professional.
Yeah.
And so I love that when I'm seeing everybody become themselves and doing content the way that they want to, it's just resonating. So I think you guys are doing an amazing job, and I really want to encourage people to continue to keep doing that, because definitely from the outside looking in, I'm just like cheering you on, because it's a bravery that you've had to do that. So keep doing it. You're doing a good job.
I'm not planning on stopping.
Yeah, don't stop, because you motivate people like me, people who are still trying to figure out their way and trying to make sure that they are authentically showing up. And so I love that. So continue, Dr. Leroy. So the next question I have for you is that in your observation, what elements or ingredients are essential for content that truly resonates with an audience? What do you feel like are the parts that need? Yours has been humor, but what do you feel like that is the mixture, the perfect cake that makes your content be amazing?
I think first of all, you need to have something that is going to just, grab the attention within the first few seconds. I think we all know this about, the algorithm and how the way things work. Yeah, you have to have something that's going to grab someone's attention and get them to stay on your video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of like, choosing the right thumbnail, choosing the right caption to put on it. Yeah, but then I think what really helps is that if we post content that, people find that's relatable to them, as a patient, especially if we are creating content for patients to watch, then it has to be maybe something that, something we've all done before, or something that we've all experienced that, actually there's a silly side to it.
Right.
And it's all about, pointing out, hey, yeah, there's actually something funny about that. Yeah, so it could be, like a patient that doesn't know the right way to get into a dental chair.
Yeah.
So it's all about exaggerating and, making something that is a little bit funny, making it hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, pointing out all the silly things.
Do you guys like come up with a list? Like, what's your workflow when you're thinking of your content calendar? How are you coming up with your things? Are you like, okay, this week, this patient did this today, I'm going to make a video about this? Or are you just like kind of coming off the cusp with it, like just figuring out on the fly of what you're doing? How do you actually, what's your workflow look like?
So I have like a Google document.
Okay.
Yeah, that if ideas come to me, I write it down. Because I found that in the past, if I don't do that, I forget. And like I spend the next few days like, what was the idea that I came up with, and I can't remember it now. So like now, like if I come up with something or I just have a thought, I'll just write it down.
Okay.
And some of those may never come to fruition, but there's a good proportion of those that, yeah, actually really good content came out of that. Yeah, so that's my workflow. And you know, sometimes I do get ideas from, you know, my friends and stuff. They just, hey, you should do a video on this, you should do a video on that, you know. And you know, I'll just write those down because you never know when something is gonna be this potential. Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of time creating the content here in the office, or do you do it outside of the practice?
Well, the stuff that, you know, if you need to film a scene in the dental chair, then yeah, you just gotta do it. You know, just gotta find some time between patients or something like, hey, help me film this or something like that. And you know, I think like there is this kind of hurdle of getting over that. You know, you have to be used to your stuff. That, you know, like Dr. Leroy's filming a reel again. yeah.
Is your team, how did your team go with you doing this? Like, were they okay with it? Like, were you like having to convince them? Because my team, sometimes they're like, Dr. Ellis, we are not doing this today. And I'm like, I just need your back. I just need your side of your face. And like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. Like, did everybody on board with the team, like, they're like excited about it?
Yeah, I think now they're okay. Yeah, because they know what I do.
They know you're coming with it.
Yeah. So it's not too much of a surprise. Like, hey, be in my reel. I need you.
Yeah.
You just need the just film this simple thing. I need you to talk. Okay, are you comfortable talking on camera? Yeah. Okay. yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how do you balance the fine line between like educational content for your patients as well as funny content? Like, where's that nice balance or that line where you're not doing too much education or it's not too much funny, you know?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to combine both aspects into one post. You know, so I think the funny stuff definitely does, you know, cast a wider net. And you know, once they're your follower, and then you know they will see your educational stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to have maybe 2 to 1. You know, funny, educational.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's just about right because. You know, I think no one likes to have information just like shut down their throat. And you know, if it doesn't
Wait, what? I love that. I'm like, shut it down. But this is probably why people are like, well, my content is like educational. And I'm just like, yes, I want you guys to be educated. Like, we want you to be funny. So you're like 2 to 1 is a nice mix. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, you know, once they know that more funny content is coming, even if they see something that's educational and doesn't really apply to them specifically, they'll still follow. You know, they're not gonna.
I like that.
Yeah, you know, I think there's no magic formula though. I just think that, for me, I enjoy creating the funny stuff. Yeah, and sometimes it's a little bit harder to get into that frame of mind to, you know, what am I gonna talk about in the education aspect? Yeah. So funny stuff is easier to make, you know, less effort but greater reward.
I need to switch your brain. I need your brain because I'm like, I can teach educational content all day, but when it comes to funny, I'm just like, I'm so awkward. So I need to kind of get that vibe down because I am a big person of like, I want people to just be inspired and know all this information. And like my assistant is like, Dr. Ellis, we need to mix this up. Like I need you to give me some educational, but some funny, some inspiring. So yeah, I think that people have to feel more comfortable of like kind of mixing up the content for sure. But you seem to like have a good flow with the funny. So like, who are your inspiration? Like, where are you finding this funny? Like, I don't know. Like for somebody like me, teach me. Where are you finding the humor?
Well, okay, so I do get quite a lot of inspiration from, you know, just watching what other content creators are doing. They might not necessarily be dentists. You know, but sometimes what they're doing, you know, it's funny and then you can actually put a dental spin on it.
I like that.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I do see things that other dentists have created and it's funny. And I try not to just like rip off wholesale. Yeah, I do make sure to, you know, state in the caption where I got my idea from. Yeah, but I usually just like to put a twist on it, you know, just make it even funnier if that's even possible.
And you said your wife is a dentist too, right?
Yeah.
So is she pretty viral too? Does she help contribute to this content, or is this kind of
sometimes she helps me with film?
Just
yeah.
film.
Yeah, she doesn't mind being in front of the camera most of the time.
Does she do cosmetic or is she general or?
More general dentistry. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
So I'm the extra one that, you know, wants to make people's smiles pretty. Yeah.
She's like, I'm just gonna do the repairing work, but you can come do the cosmetic stuff. I love that. How is that household like? Is it that you guys are talking about dentistry a lot at home, or do you try to make sure you have a good like balance and break?
Yeah, we try not to have too much shop talk, but it's a little bit inevitable, you know, after like a long day at work. You know, sometimes the only things that are in your mind are work stuff.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but I think once we're at home, then, you know, it's not just constantly dental stuff all the time.
I can't even imagine what your family reunions are like. Is everybody talking about teeth? Because you said your brother-in-law, like, at the dinner table, everybody's like talking about dentistry, or?
I think now it's a lot less.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, at the, like, around the time that I first graduated and it was like, no, hey, now I'm practicing and everything, then all we could talk about was, yeah, this patient, that patient, this procedure, that procedure.
Yeah.
It's a lot less because we've all been dentists for so long.
And your parents are like, thank God. Now everybody is like not talking about teeth.
Yeah,
like.
finally back to a bit more normal, yeah.
I love that. All right, so my next question to you is that how do you engage your followers and the interaction shaped your content strategy? Like how have your followers helped develop your content strategy?
Well, so I think usually I myself, I do make an effort to see what people are commenting, on the reels, and see what they find funny. Sometimes they leave suggestions in there what we should do next. So that's good. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, because I think everyone likes to feel that their comment is being seen and that their opinion is being heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and at the end of the day, we are creating content not just for people online, but because we want to engage with real people that potentially are going to become our clients or our customers. Yeah. So the more you can engage with them in an authentic way, and the more that they feel seen and they feel heard, the more likely they are to think that, hey, this is someone that seems like someone that I'll want to see. They could be my dentist or they could just be my friend.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I saw your content and I came all the way to Singapore to make sure I got to interview you.
So doing something right.
Something is working. You guys you're translating all the way over to the States. So
nice.
I think that's amazing. Do you feel like you ever get consumed with creating content, or do you feel like you're on social media too much? Like, how do you find that balance?
I don't think I'm too consumed in creating the content. In fact, sometimes I have to find time to do it. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, it's still stuff that you see on the screen. So you have to be present and you still have to focus on what's going on in front of you in real life. Yeah. And sometimes I actually find it's the other way around. I have to, set aside time. Hey, it's time to make content. I owe a lot of my success to, patients that have found me online. So I can't just rest on my laurels and just so always have to be time for new content.
I love that because I think for me it's the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, because I think I see people going down that rabbit hole, right? And I get really nervous about myself being like that person that's just like, my sister is a full-time influencer. Like that is her full-time job, and I just see her consistently on her phone, and I'm like, I don't want to be that person. Yeah. So I think I've seen the other side of it, but I love that you say that you really have found that balance and you're like, I got to make content because this is what got me here, not because I am consumed with it and I just want to put something out. Like you're doing it because you enjoy it. Yeah. So my next question to you is that any advice for any fellow dentists that are looking to try to become content creators, especially funny or on TikTok and go viral, but are kind of nervous, scared to do it?
I'm not going to share anything because if I share, then I'm going to have competition.
You're like, I'm not interested in doing this now.
No, I mean, I think it's all about, deciding how you want to present yourself. And if you're okay with, showing a more lighthearted, side of yourself, then, it will come naturally. Yeah, because actually creating the content is not difficult. It's about, creating it consistently and deciding, what angle you want to, approach. Because there's so many permutations, and there's, depending on who you are and with what aspect of yourself you're comfortable showing. I think you just gotta, it's okay to take some time to figure it out. In the beginning, I had no idea that I'm going to be, on Instagram creating funny content as a dentist. Yeah, but sometimes it does come to you after a while, hey, okay, this is working, this is not working. Okay, I like showing this aspect, I don't like showing this aspect. So there's really no magic formula.
You it's your flow.
Yeah, just get started. It's okay to have a few reels that completely bomb and don't get any engagement at all. It's bound to happen. Yeah, but then there'll be one or two that, hey, okay, I stumbled upon something, I'm going to make more of this. Yeah, so.
I love that. So my favorite segment, of course, is rapid fire questions. So Doc, are you ready? Because now we're going to go through. All right. Sex or chocolate?
Both.
Oh! I wasn't ready. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Favorite vacation?
Japan.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. What part?
All over. I've been Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. Just came back from Hokkaido actually.
Nice, nice. What's your background? What's your ethnicity?
Singaporean Chinese.
Singaporeans
love Japan.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
I was trying to get a Pandora bracelet and I saw that it was Japan and there were so many Japan ones and I was like, why? But now I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Mornings or evenings?
Evenings.
Okay. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Okay. Skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
Really? I'm made after my heart. I like it. All right. First grade or fifth grade?
5th grade.
The nearest or in this line?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah.
You need one or the other, right? Whiskey or tequila?
Whiskey.
Nice. Okay. And coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite ice cream?
Any kind of coffee ice cream.
Coffee ice cream?
Coffee ice cream, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, or an affogato. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, vanilla ice cream with espresso poured over it.
Oh my gosh, you're like coffee obsessed.
Yeah.
And favorite book?
Okay, you got me there. Can I be honest? Yeah, I really don't do as much reading as I should.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only like 24 hours.
You're like, and there's no time for a book in there.
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna pretend that I do a lot of reading just to appear like, very cultured. I think, okay, I really don't do as much as I should.
No problem.
Yeah.
I love it, because listen, like, do you listen to podcasts? Do you have a podcast that's your favorite? None.
yours.
Okay, thank you. Guys, you heard that right here, Beyond the Chair podcast, okay? I want to thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your effort, because again, what you are putting out there is resonating with people. It got my attention, and I think that it was funny, it was hilarious, but it also showcased the side of you, and getting a chance to be in your space right now and seeing who you are, like, your content is truly, basically showcasing who you are. So thank you so much, Dr. Leroy, for your time and letting me come into your practice here in Singapore.
It's really my pleasure, yeah. It's not every day that we get to have someone like yourself, so well known within the industry, it's really an honor having you here.
Thank you.
I feel very flattered that you actually,
Listen, I was surprised. I was like, this is great, and I'm just thankful that you allowed me in your space, seriously, because, like, again, I'm not coming out to Singapore often, so, like, the fact that I got a chance to meet you here means that you found a friend over in the States. If you're ever in Houston or in Texas, let me know for sure.
I will.
All right. Guys, this is Beyond the Chair. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow our podcast on all of our social media platforms, and leave a comment. We want to know how you enjoyed this episode, especially with Dr. Leroy. Even though he is in Singapore, he's doing amazing work. So if you ever find yourself out here needing cosmetic dentistry, you know where to find him. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.